Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it brings me a great pleasure, not a great pleasure, it brings me great pleasure to bring to you the number one podcast topic of great conversation on the planet Earth. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start the show in the magical words of dream it, believe it, but most of all, make sure you become it.
Coming up because no one ain't coming down.
Skylar spinning ranking.
Boy, Tunde lost. 1 second, let me just change up this thing. Get a better angle, you know?
And what you did?
The camera thing start playing about me.
What you did, man? Don't be trying to fight random madness on the screen, please. I beg. Hold tight, Jay Lanks. Come on, fight. Bleachers in the building. Dan the man. SE15. Pecknam in the Hold tight, Southside Gunner. BH Duke Alexander. Callus. And of course, myself, Tunde Ajayi, and the one and only Spencer, the knowledge, spirit, Fearon. Old tight, D-Spec 87. I see you, bro. Urban legend. Yes, sons. Come on. You know the set. Whoa. Spence. We're going to get right into it. I'll let you talk first.
Firstly, may I say, certain things can happen where you just want to sit back and you're going to say that, right, you know what? I've seen a man who come out of South London, Peckham. You know what I mean? Who used to have some dry black picky head. You know what I mean? Who has stuck to his guns, and I want everyone to realize that when you compromise yourself, you'll be compromised by the compromise. Stick to your guns. And if the whole world is against you, but God is for you. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, he's ducking. He don't want to fight, blah, 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 blah. Oh, why don't you fight? Why don't you do this and that and all the rest of it? Hold up a second now. Everything is timing.
Yes, sir.
Everything is timing. So I want man to realize this part here. We're looking at this bill. Come on, Chrissy. You know, when we're looking at this bill in November, Riyadh season, yet again, with Stella and His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh, because he's excellent, right? When we're looking at a bill of this magnitude, and when I'm seeing a man that I'm busting the game,
you got to get that far in this, Spence.
All praise is due to Allah. That's what I'm saying. All praise is due to God, because I want people to realize that Stamina for Sale team, Tunde Ajayi, and James Cook, Joe Kodua, more importantly, Yarde. Yeah? I'm not here just to make up numbers. Right? Because we only make up numbers when we go to the bank. You have an opportunity now to make history. Now, I want man to realize this part here, that look at the top of the bill, Benevidez versus Yarde. Yarde has been on the show. Look at the other show. Look at the other bits. Devin Haney versus Brian Norman. Devin Haney's been on the show.
Big fact.
Right? After the Linares win, Devin was talking to us in the changing room. After we did the watch along. Go look at the show. Abdullah Mason. Been on the show regular, where no one even know about Abdullah Mason. Just look at it. The only ones that ain't been on is Bam Martinez.
Yes.
Right? They're the only two. But don't think they ain't got a Mexican hook up, because I have. So I'm just of this opportunity, knowing that you had to go through certain things. Because in the Latin, there is a word called docomy. I want to listen to me now. And docomy means when you're making a sword, right? In biblical times, when Roman soldiers would make their swords, right? You'd heat the metal so much that the metal would melt, right? And then once it's formed, you got to put water on it. And if the metal is not at the right temperature, Tunde, you pick it out and it will break. So when you're going through the fire is the purging to toughen you. To toughen you. You understand? So I'm just so happy that this has happened, to the fact of when everyone else was there yapping and yapping and yapping, you just believe in your training. Right? That's all you got to do. You just got to believe and train. And it's at the right time. Cat, you know, I'm dropping gems today because I'm on one today. I'm just, you don't even know, like, I'm just telling everyone, Capital, big up yourself. I'm just saying this, yeah? This morning, I woke up with anxiety, right? And I was like, come open. Since my mom died, I get bouts where I suffer from anxiety. It's been cool for about 6 months. I mean, right? Especially like I got therapy as well. And I was sitting down and I was feeling anxious. There was a tightness in my chest. Like I couldn't breathe too good. I was just feeling like, raw, don't feel good. You know what I mean? And I was speaking and I was saying like, you know what? I know why, because I know like it's James's funeral tomorrow, right?
Yes.
And it's on certain things of realization. When James chipped out, Tunde was at the hospital with me, and the last person allowed into the room was Tunde. The last person allowed. After that, the nurse lady came in and said, no one else ain't coming in there. I'm not even gonna lie, it was Ram like Saxon sound was playing. Ram. Right? And when we was there, and Tunde said, Spence, man, I'm going to cinemas, you know. Come, man, come, let's go movies. Because like, Tunde's always thinking like, right, you know what, Spence lost his mum and dad as well. And he said, come, let's go to the movies. We went to the movies, and it literally took my mind off of it that the next day I woke up in the morning, and I was saying, rah, I'm getting up at the shower. Like I'm going to the hospital. Because I forgot that James is even gone. You know what I mean? But this here now, Tun, it's like you can learn from a baby, you can learn from a big man. But one thing I'm saying to everybody is that if you believe in something so much, stick by your guns. Because your compromise will be your composition. That you compromise will compromise you. Stay true to yourself. Stay on this thing. Boxing is beautiful. Boxing is so beautiful. You know what I mean? And to witness it, man, trust me, Tun. Because I know Tunde ain't gonna do no talking on it. That's why I said, especially you talk, because Tunde ain't gonna talk on this fight. He ain't gonna talk. Tunde knows he's got work to do. You know what I mean? He's got work to do. But this is the most beautiful thing. And even more so that we're sharing this with you guys who have been loyal for us for over 5 years when the fight is right. So you guys are actually witnessing history. I don't even think you guys in the chats don't even know how lucky you really are. I think Baba Tunde Ajayi, I mean, world-class trainer. You know what I mean? And even more so, before they could talk about, oh, well, Andy Yarde, well, he's a freak of nature, he could have done it right. They love to use that one. Yeah? But what did we do last week?
Come on, shut the world.
Okay then. You know what I mean? What did we do last week? And it's only going to keep on getting better and better and better. And even more so, when a man's saying dream it, believe it, become it, he's not just saying it for a fancy slogan. Because I remember when Deontay Wilder tried to say it and mash it up, and then he get mashed up by Fury. Right?
Come on.
This is the time now where we got to go out and say that we're going to grab this thing with 2 hands. And don't get fooled. I want everyone to listen to you who's on the show. Do not get fooled by other people's perception of you, because their perception is the deception. Their perception is not the reality. You are the perception. Whatever you think about, you can actually bring about. Because last week, Tony said, I know I'm going to get a big fight, you know. And we've been days. Come on.
Well, come on. For me, Spence, thank you for that. And every word you spoke was the truth. Even more so to the point that I don't really want to talk about these guys because they don't deserve it. The people who are negative, the people who have been negative, not just now, but over the years, from really the inception of myself, Anthony, and those that come before me. Remember, it's always me that's holding the arrows. But it's like what you said. It has not stopped me. It never will stop me. And I feel that if those who are lacking strength, the will to maybe take on challenges which seem impossible, if there are people out there like that, which I know there are, most, if not 90% of people really live their life thinking, wishing, talking about something, but really allowing fear to enter their mind. And it's like I was telling someone yesterday, fear is something that we make up in our own heads. And I mean, it's funny to me in boxing how the people always running up their mouth, talking the biggest talk, are always the ones who never have the kahunas to take the challenge. And I just feel that people need to, I don't, listen, life is polarity, innit? So there are always people that support us, but I think the whole world of boxing in particular, because it's our sport, they need to really put some respect on Ant's name. And never shall anyone on the TalkSport channel question Anthony Yarde's heart, ability, willingness to fight the absolute gangsters of the light heavyweight division.
Pull the thing, Tunde.
The gangsters of the light heavyweight divisions, the mobsters, the Don Corleones of the light heavyweight divisions, the fighters who your best fighter don't want to fight. Anthony Yarde now, only having 12 amateur fights, has gone on to fight the best of 3 generations of light heavyweights. He beat the Lineal Ring Magazine. He fought, in my mind, he beat him and we still have beat him. The Lineal Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year consecutively in Sergei Kovalev. Went over to Russia. Me and AY rolled up, no entourage, just like it is today. No 15 security men, 15 bodyguards, 15 men who don't need to be there and that are there. Just me and him rode into Chelyabinsk, one of the most feared places in Russia for crime and violence.
So you're lucky to get kidnapped.
And you get kidnapped off the streets, and I'm there telling AY, bro, nobody can touch us because we're with God. And we proved that. But then, fast forward a few years, I keep on saying I just like to be, I'm Ant's bag carrier. I'm the man carrying the bag. And then Ant went on to fight.
Well, it's going to be a bag of money, Tunde. You want to give me some?
And went on to fight a guy with 100% KO ratio and put on a fight of the year. So much so that your favorite fighter, after Ant's performance, thought that he could do the same thing. And we all know what happened afterwards. But it's like I said to someone before I talk about this current fight. What you have to understand about a person that's on a journey, any type of journey, is that you always have to look at the steps of progression. Are you better than the fight before? Are you worse than the fight before? And so if you look at the progression of this young man who only had 12 amateur fights, we put up a great performance, and I swear that was the fight of the year in Russia against Kovalev. Then and got better through experience and put on the fight of the year. And rather than go backwards, this young man has gone on to further progress. And now, in the third attempt, fight not only the newest generation of light heavyweights, but the most feared.
The most avoided.
The most feared, the most avoided, and in my opinion, the best. Because as the generations go forward, we're not meant to move forward. We're always meant to evolve. And so, other than talking about the fight, you just have to realize that all the lies, all the we would rather fight Benevidez than fight Yarde, even if the money was right. Yes, I'm reminding you all, that's what your favorite brothers said. Even if the money was less, the opportunity to fight David Benevidez is a way bigger fight than Yarde. And don't let me have to go to my phone and show you all the clippings, because I see everything of every single brother of this particular family saying that Benevidez was a bigger fight than Anthony Yarde. Well, guess what? Why didn't you fight him? Why didn't you fight him? Why didn't you fight? Because the honest truth is, I can't talk for them. But it's like I told Joel Kadua, it's like I told Anthony Yarde. There's 3 reasons to be in the sport of professional boxing. The first one, obviously, is the money. That goes without saying. It's called prize fighting. We, or anyone who becomes a professional boxer, should have money at the top of their list. Barry Hearn says it. Every time you see Barry Hearn having an interview, you've seen him in the changing room with Katie Taylor when she made her professional debut and said, Katie, it's about the money. Barry Hearn said it before me. So money is number 1 of the 3. I'm not saying it's the most important, but I'm just simply stating the fact that money is a massive part of professional boxing, prize fighting. Secondly, is legacy. How do you want to be remembered as an individual, whether you are in boxing, accounting, your legal work, a lawyer, a footballer, a doctor? What mark do you want to leave? What do you want your legacy to be in the field which you have chosen to campaign at? But then finally, of the 3, and to me, the most important one in the sport of boxing is, do you believe you can win?
Come on, talk it, Tunde.
Do you believe you can win? Because one thing Mr. Anthony Yarde has proven over and over and over again, the belief to win. And we all know the saying, fall down 10 times, you get up 11. We ain't stopping and ain't stopping until what is in his mind, only he knows what's in his mind, becomes a reality. And so that's something for all these fighters who have disrespected us, disrespected me, disrespected AY over the years, claiming that they don't need to fight us. There's a bigger fight on the horizon. And when the fight is given to them or offered to them, in one sentence, you say it's not about the money and that you would fight him for the bigger prize. And when you get offered the money, you turn it down. So that's something for you guys to go and sleep about and think about. But one thing I tell you about Ant, because Ant is a man, he don't like people talking for him. But you know, I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. Yeah, and I thought I've done my job. Ant don't want people talking for him. Ant could talk for himself. But he's a man that is showing as opposed to talking. But one thing we know is that these guys who say they want to fight are not fighters. They are what His Excellency, Mr. Turki Al Sheikh, have called Tom and Jerry fighters. Tom was the chaser, right, Spence? If I'm not mistaken.
Tom was the cat. Yeah, Thomas, he was the cat.
Yeah. So as Mr. Al Sheikh said last night, he said, "What is this Jerry business?" One thing I can tell you about this fight, this is gonna be a Tom and Tom fight, because no one ain't running nowhere. No one ain't running nowhere. And is a fighter. Benevidez is a hell of a fighter, as they say. He a hell of a fighter. He a hell of a fighter. And all respects have to go to, I mean, I've studied him and the father, Jose Sr., and Jose Jr. And they are very, very good people, respectful people. The father has sacrificed his time, his life, to make sure that his children are good human beings. I'm telling you a bit here, but I watched an interview maybe 13, 14 years ago where Benevidez Sr. said, more than the money, I just want my boys to be respectful human beings. And I feel I can echo that. It's the same with me. I've always just wanted, and Joel Kadua and every person I've trained, to be upstanding, inspirational people to themselves and to those that's around them. So you won't hear no bad mouth, slagging, talking, all of that coming from us, where the Benevidez family is respected. It's just going to be a fight. This is what boxing fans want, Spence. Am I right? Am I wrong? Isn't this what boxing fans call for? And who better than to give us this? The man that literally has changed and revolutionized the sport of boxing, His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh.
Come on, Tunde, like, all props to Turki Al Sheikh for this. Like I said, there's a card that is happening, and every fighter on there, bar Bam and Martinez, we know that man have blessed the show. That's nuts.
It is. And again, it shows you the power of our show. It shows you the power of our show. If, you know, I read a comment by another Niger, and instead of blocking him, I feel like I will address the question. Gibadibo, that's my uncle's name. Akinlade. Yeah? Listen, sir, with all due respect, you ain't no trainer. You ain't no trainer, and you obviously are not a boxing fan, because you cannot, in one sentence, complain that fighters are avoiding other fighters, and then when you get the fight that you supposedly want, you being negative from the jump, chatting about the wrong style matchup. Well, guess what? Styles make fights. Spencer always has been telling me that from my inception in boxing. Styles make fights. So this is where we as boxing fans look at a fight. And let me tell you something. Anybody who thinks that this ain't going to be a fight don't know boxing.
Tunde, I don't care what anybody else thinks. I know what I know.
Bro, in November, you be blocked. In fact, don't worry about, I will remind you of this in November. You're blocked now. How you like that one? How you like that one? So you won't see me in November because you're out of here. Get out of here, man. These little bubbles. Come out the dance, man. Get out the dance. See, you've made me gone into that side now. I was being all calm. I was being all calm, and now you made me just draw the next thing. Get out the dance, man. You know when you tell man, get out your dance, because come out the dance, and they're trying to explain. Just come out the dance, man. Get out the dance, chatting nonsense. Get out of here, man. I tried to address it properly, respectfully, and you're still talking nonsense. I already just told you that I'm not going to block you, and then you're bringing the Nigerian out of me. You're still coming with nonsense. Come on, man. Let's get out of here, man. Let's continue to talk boxing. Yeah, you know that, fat bleachers. I just went back to the 90s and just said, yeah, get out of here, man. The diction has gone out the window. But that's what makes the fight is right. The show it is. It's a real show, Spence. It's a real show. Real people and real opinions. And I feel like this is what makes up the fabric of the sport of boxing. You have people from all echelons, all classes, whether you're working class, upper class, middle class, and you can all come together, or we can all come together and share how we feel without any clapbacks, unless you're being disrespectful. Because one thing I ain't taking, I'm not taking no disrespect. Your opinion is your opinion, and everybody's entitled to that. But you just got to just do it in a respectful way. So, again, Bishop, you're back. I've never answered your questions, Bishop, because I know you're 419er. I block you, and then you keep coming again. Well, let me tell you, that is not really a disrespectful question. Okay, well, firstly, we were WBO #1. So Gustavo had already said if Beterbiev and Bivol were not to fight, the interim champion, who was Callum Smith, who we already agreed to fight, we would fight for the full world title. Now, being the #1, obviously that gives us a lot of options in other divisions. So the WBC, the mere fact nobody wanted to fight Benevidez, and you can go and ask his manager, Luis de Cuba. You know, we spoke. Nobody don't want to fight him. And I'm not going to call a name, but your best British fighters, not just one of them, they all declined to fight Benevidez. Bivol, rather than fight Benevidez, gave up the WBC belt. Yeah? There were 4 fighters in the running to fight Benevidez. And the only one who dared to be great, challenge himself, is Anthony Yarde. And it's as simple as that. Sometimes a fighter, you know how it is, Mr. Bishop. When the champion cannot get, even the mandatories don't want to fight him. He has to work his way down the list in the top 10, which really wasn't the case with us because we were already #1 in the WBO. I think we were rated maybe 5 in the WBC. I haven't checked the WBC ratings. But regardless, as Jose Benavidez Sr. had already stated, Anthony Yarde is a proven world-class fighter. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. Bishop. Yes, you don't know. Freddie, you already know what time it is. Already know what time it is. And you know, we're not in the talking thing. Just like people were talking that they've got the fight, we're in negotiation, we've got the fight. And then guess what? His Excellency told you who's fighting who. And that's why it's not good to talk. It's not good to talk what you don't know. And I don't know the date. The venue hasn't been announced. We know it's a Riyadh season, and I'm not silly. I'm not saying none of that until His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh says it. When he says it, then I will say it. because then I know nothing can't come back to me. And I'm not trying to mess up anything. So I don't want nobody coming on there saying, oh yeah, Tunde was saying it's this date, it's that time. It's no. Turkey Al Sheikh will tell everybody what time it is when he's ready. So be prepared for some sort of announcement imminently. That's all I say. It's great, isn't it, bro? Me and Bill on the same bill. We came up together. We was in the sprinter. You heard Bill Haney talking about the sprinter, which they still have today. We both was in the sprinter, planning this day in our minds. Not so much planning, but visualizing this day in our minds. How we would be on this stage, really manifesting. And manifestation does work. It does work. What I was explaining to someone again yesterday is that manifestation works, but it only works as long as you can hold on to your dream and continue to work. And you got to work without seeing any kind of results until it happens. And so it works. Dream it, believe it, become it. It's very simple, very simple to say, but not so easy to do. But yeah, it's all good, man. I'm excited, to be honest. I'm overexcited. And for me, the challenge is keeping my mouth shut. That's the challenge. Because you know, like sometimes you just want to say, "Bro, you see all these men here, just chatting the thing." Sorry. Just talking. But you ain't delivering. So it's not about that. One thing is fighting is a very serious sport. And if you ain't getting in the ring, really, you're not really qualified to really talk about it. The person going in that ring is Mr. Anthony Yarde. And so all rights to talk are reserved to him. But I think everyone knows the most you're going to get out of Ant is lions in the camp. Let's go. So Yarde is going to bring, big up Sammy, the WBC 1 to the UK. Love that. Thank you, brother. So yeah, I think, Spence, there's nothing really more to say on that. You know, November is still something.
There isn't. I was just speaking to Abu Mason, the father of Abdullah Mason.
Come on. Abdullah's on the bill as well.
Yeah, Abdullah's on the bill. That's what I'm saying. So I was just speaking to him, but they're having some little family meeting. But we had a good little chat. That's the evening I was on the phone to.
Okay.
And he said, definitely next week he'll come on, him and his son. You know what I mean?
I mean, look at this. Look at this, Spence. Just think about this. Let's take a deep breath and think about this for 1 second. Your people are about to be headlining a card which will feature, at present, they're talking about even more, 4 world title fights. Brian Norman versus Devin Haney. Sam Noakes versus Abdullah Mason for the WBO title. What's the other bill, Spence? What's the other fight?
There's talk that Boots could be fighting Ortiz.
Oh my goodness. Virgil Ortiz fighting Boots Ennis.
Yeah, light middleweight.
At 154.
Yeah.
Oh, this is it. This is incredible. There's one other fight I'm missing. Bam Rodriguez defending his Ring magazine. Bam.
Against Martinez. Yeah.
Bam on the thing, Spencer.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So that's Bam. That's Bam. That's Boots. That's Haney. That's Virgil Ortiz. That's Abdullah Mason. It's just huge, Spencer.
It's a huge card. It is a huge card.
It's a huge card.
And Tunde, as far as I'm concerned, this is Riyadh's season's best card.
I'm totally not gonna disagree, because you know why, Spence? You have the young guns.
Yeah.
On the card. You know, and this is what, in my opinion, what Turkey Al Sheikh is we don't want fights to over marinate. We don't want to be talking about a fight for 5 years And then when they're at the when they're at the end of their career, then they're
cashing out. They're cashing out.
They're cashing out.
Pension fund fight.
You see what I'm saying? But what His Excellency is doing for us, he's giving us the fights. It's like a Leonard v. Duran. How old was Leonard? 24 years old when he fought Duran the second time? 24, 25?
23.
23 years of age. Yeah, this is really, we are going back to, or maybe a period never ever seen in boxing, Spence.
Well, I wouldn't say that. What I would say is this: is for the young people that's been involved in the game.
Yes,
I think everything started to go kind of pear-shaped after we had from 1985, 1986, 1987 was a great period, right? So we go 85.
Yes.
85 when Mike Tyson came onto the scene, right?
Yes.
There became an unwillingness in the heavyweight division. Larry Holmes was partly to blame for it, even though Larry Holmes is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. But Larry Holmes absconded the WBC crown and threw it in the bin.
The knowledge.
Right? He was the first man to dash it in the bin, but he literally didn't put it in the bin. Riddick Bowe went too far, put it in the bin. But Larry Holmes was the WBC champion, and he didn't want to fight the number one contender, right? Who at the time was Pinklon Thomas, right? He said, nah, because of the money and all the rest of it, and he threw away that title, and he fought Marvis Frazier instead, right? He knocks out Marvis Frazier in one round. He did actually play with Marvis Frazier, but that was for that was for the IBF title. So Larry Holmes was the first man to become IBF heavyweight champion. Then you had other men that challenged for the WBC crown, right? And Pinklon Thomas ended up as the winner of the WBC crown. After you had Tim Witherspoon, because Tim Witherspoon in 1983 gave Larry Holmes a hell of a fight, Tunde. Go watch that fight.
And Tim Witherspoon came over and fought Frank Bruno, right?
But he fought Frank Bruno after. So what happened was Tim Witherspoon, because this is when the heavyweight division started to get mad.
Yes.
Greg Page, and Tim Witherspoon fight for the WBC crown. Tim Witherspoon beats Greg Page. Then Tim Witherspoon's first defense was against Pinklon Thomas. Pinklon Thomas beats Tim Witherspoon on points, right? Pinklon Thomas had a hell of a jab now.
Yeah.
A hell of a jab, Tunde.
Angelo Dundee.
Yeah. Go watch his first fight.
1 second. So, let me mute you. Carry on, Spence.
All right. Go and watch the two young cats out there. Go watch Pinklon Thomas's first defense against Mike Weaver. Pinklon Thomas was absolutely fantastic in that fight. He stopped Mike Weaver. Mike Weaver wasn't no joke. He's a very, very strong fighter. And then after that, Pinklon Thomas fights Trevor Burbeck in defense of his title. He loses to Trevor Burbeck. Then we know that Trevor Burbeck goes on to fight Mike Tyson in November of 1986. But before then, Tony Tubbs was then the reigning WBA champion. He fights Tim Witherspoon, and Tim Witherspoon loses. Tim Witherspoon beats him, and then Tim Witherspoon's first defense of the crown comes to London, England, and he fights Frank Bruno.
Yes.
Right? And Frank Bruno gets stopped by Tim Witherspoon. But even that fight is a hell of a fight.
It's a hell of a fight. Frank was doing good.
Frank was up there. But he lost that fight.
Wait. Sorry. That's the fight. Raymond Matala against Andy Cruz for the WBO. Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Listen, card.
It's too much.
If this ain't the best card ever.
It's too much. It's too much. So I'm saying, like, off of that time, the thing what made boxing then was the keenness and the willingness. I hear you, Skyline. I'll hook up Brian Norman's dad. Well, hook him up. Hook up Brian Norman's dad. I'll send you a link and tell Brian Norman, put the link up in the thing. Tell Brian Norman to come on the thing, bro. So of that time, there was more of a willingness of man to fight each other. Because could you imagine if Sugar Ray Leonard was around today, Tunde, yeah?
Yes.
Sugar Ray Leonard would have 35 title defenses. Right? But the willingness of Sugar Ray Leonard is this. I'm talking in the 80s. In the 80s, if you're a bad man, I'm a bad man, I'm gonna fight you. I'm not gonna fight you, we're ducking. There was more of that. As soon as TV networks and business come into it, people will talk a good game, but they will do their best to avoid other people. Sugar Ray Leonard, from the time when he won the title in 79, November 25th, against Wilfred Benitez, stopping him in the 14th round, yeah?
Yes. Sugar
Ray Leonard's first defense, which was a magical defense as well, when he beat up Dave Boy Green. That to me is one of the best performances.
Sorry to cut you. I heard an interview with Sugar Ray Leonard speaking about that momentous fight. He said when he knew he was too small for light heavyweight is when he fought Donnie. And he said every punch that guy hit him with was like a truck was hitting.
Yeah, that was November of 1988. And then
EK the Bishop has joined, but we're not going to click you on, brother, because we know you're just here to mess about.
Yeah, Leonard got dropped. He gets dropped in the 4th round by overhand right.
Yes.
By straight right.
Yes.
I remember staying up because that fight was in a weekday. I think that fight was a Thursday night because I remember staying up watching it on ITV.
Spence, can I just say something? Because Lee S has made a point. Actually, he's verbalized the point I had in my mind. It's like fighters now. They will be shown to be liars because you can skirt around a fight up until this point of His Excellency being involved in the sport. The excuse fighters was making was outpricing themselves. Yeah, that's the easy. I mean, I've sat down with Frank Warren many a times, and he'll be like, "T." He's just like, all he's gonna do is outprice himself. He don't want to fight. You get what I'm saying? But what Turkey has done now, he's saying, all right, we'll give you that. Go and fight. But most of these fighters nowadays are so scared to lose that mythical oath that they refuse to challenge themselves. And so what you do is you water down the sport. You give the fans fights where you know the winner.
Tunde, I'll keep on saying, I'll revert back to the olden days, yeah? Everybody knows that Charlie Burley was famously avoided by Sugar Ray Robinson, right?
What? Say that again?
Charlie Burley, one of the greatest fighters never to win a world title. He's most probably the greatest fighter never to win a world title.
Yes.
And, I mean, I would say Charlie Burley's up there because it was famously, it was reported that Sugar Ray Leonard didn't want nothing. Sugar Ray Robinson, sorry, my apologies. Sugar Ray Robinson didn't want nothing to do with him, right?
Yes.
In 1943, right?
The knowledge. But why does this brother keep on putting up this comment? Baba Tunde feels betrayed by Talksport. Bro, nobody feels betrayed of it. It's a public platform where you are asked questions. All I did is answer my side. I don't feel betrayed. Listen, we need public platforms.
We need more of them.
We need more of them. And
thank you.
I've said it for the longest time. Simon Jordan is one of, if not the greatest orator and spokesperson out there today. You can't play with Simon Jordan, but Simon knows me, and in a respect, I've met him a couple of times, and I'm sure he knows my character already. I'm very, very aggressive in how I speak sometimes, and that's why when it comes to certain negotiations, I leave that to somebody else because I feel so passionate about my opinion, and especially when you're talking about someone that I represent. It comes across as over-aggressive, but everyone knows, including Simon Jordan, I can sit down and have a conversation and give my but it's, it's about catching me on the right time. When I'm invited into the studio, it's a much better settings, as has been shown. But when you try to catch me on the phone and start giving me phone interviews and stuff, but I'm firing back. That's when you see the Nigerian come out of me. But TalkSport is a fantastic platform. Spencer Oliver, my mate, it's just Ade is on there. It's just a great platform, and it's a great way to be heard, and it's giving fighters the opportunity to talk, and trainers and managers. So I'm not in no beef. I don't feel betrayed by nobody. So don't try that one. But yeah, Spenny, sorry about that. I just
I'm saying, what was I saying? Sorry, what's this, guys? What's it? UKAAQ says, put that one up there.
I'm trying to find it. What's his name?
UK is that? I just see it. I just see it on the thingy. UKAA.
Wait, no, I'll find it.
UKAAQ 88Q.
Checkmate, Simi, Capital Commodities, Jamie Lee, Untouchable. Oh, UK 88Q, yeah?
Yeah.
That question. June 8th, 2002, which fight took place on this night? he's trying to test your knowledge. But is it a made-up?
Stop for a second. That's UKAA. I like that. Thank you very much for listening, but that's very disrespectful. I'm going to tell you why it's disrespectful, yeah? Because that's too recent.
Come on. The knowledge.
Right? That's too recent. And as we had the great Chris Eubank Sr. talk about this fight where Mike Tyson allowed Lennox Lewis to have the clean kill. And that's the fight that he was talking about. Never ever dream of trying to test me.
Don't play with box knowledge, Fearon. Not box rec. Box knowledge. Did you hear what he said, UK? He said that's disrespectful. You're coming with questions from this century.
Come on. You know what I mean?
Bro, you need to go back to the 1500s, the 1600s.
Come on, man.
To have a little bit of a chance of trying to catch Spencer, the knowledge Fearon, out. It can't work. We don't need box rec. We don't need computer screens in front of us to recollect. This is the gift. It's not, you can't buy it. You can't borrow it. You can't pretend to have it. You either got it or you ain't. And this is where Spencer, the knowledge Fearon, is a massive asset to the Stamina for Soul team, to the Fight is Right. And that's why I told my brethren years ago, yeah, we're going to do this, man. We're going to do this, man. Yeah. Try quiz man on the spot. Don't try. But yeah, anyway, let's carry on, Spencer.
No, I'm saying, like, when we've got fighters on their willingness to want to go and fight each other. You was talking about Sugar there when he fought Donny Lon.
Yes.
Hit him and he said, like, that's when he knew that he wasn't. And what you have to, he wasn't a light heavyweight. Remember this, Sugar Ray Leonard, that fight was actually, because he was very smart, that fight was November 7th, 1988, Las Vegas, right?
The knowledge.
Sugar Ray Leonard dragged the reigning WBC champion, Donny Lon, down in weight by 7 pounds.
Catch weight.
Yeah, so it was a catch weight thing. He was the first man to do it. After that, Floyd started to do it. After that, Gervonta Davis did it when he fought Leo Santa Cruz, right? But Leonard was the first person to do it. But with Donny Lon was getting something like $3 million for that fight. So wow. Donny Lon would have most probably chop off his leg for that money, right? So, and it was the Golden Boy versus the Pretty Boy, how the fight was announced. Yes. But still, after the weigh-in, there wasn't no rehydration clause. So Donny Lon blew up in weight. When Donny Lon most probably was entering that ring against Ray Leonard, he must be 13 stone plus. So Ray Leonard, when he was in there, Ray Leonard weren't trying to dance. Ray Leonard was trying to fight Donny Lon, thinking like Donny Lon never had it. But he soon found out when going along, clapping with the right hand and dropping in round 4.
Yeah.
And he cut him in the process. Remember, like, he got cut across his nose when he got took that shot. So, but the way Leonard came back and stopped him, I remember, if you, like, you have to remember the late, great Reg Gutchers, who I can regard as a friend as well, right? Reg Gutchers did the UK commentary. So, when Reg Gutchers was doing the UK commentary, he had Sugar Leonard up on points. But everybody else, big up Micah, my brother, but everybody else had Ray Leonard losing. But I remember it was Kevin Rooney, the former trainer of Mike Tyson. Yes. He was he was doing the commentary for HBO, Larry Merchant. And the hatred that he had for Leonard, you know? You know what I mean?
I always dislike that. You know, it's supposed to be a neutral sport, especially when they're coming from a commentating standpoint. And it's quite clear and evident that, you know, one person may dislike the fighters, one of the fighters. I never liked that.
I didn't like that at all. Yeah. I didn't like that at all. But I'm saying, on those things where you think about the weight thing is very important. But I'm going to say this is going to be very significant for this fight with Benevidez and Yarde. I'm talking about the weight.
Yes.
Here is a man that is a big light heavyweight versus a man, you've got fast hands and all this, right? But you're moving up in weight now against a real light heavyweight, a real solidified light heavyweight. There was a big difference. Big difference. But that's enough of that fight. I don't want to talk about that too much.
I think that's why, you know, Benevidez is coming to the fight respecting us as well. You know, more so for the fact that, you know, we had the kahunas to challenge him. Because let's not make no bones about it, Spencer. No, but he was mandatory for Canelo's title for time. And this fight never got made. Never got made. So, I mean, again, what does that say about Ant? You know?
You know, also, sorry to interject. The reason why that Canelo fight Benevidez didn't happen, yeah?
Yes.
And I'm just going to be rude. Canelo's at the tail end of his career, yeah?
Yes.
Right. The worst thing that Canelo needs is a fast-handed fighter. And even though Benevidez himself is Mexican, we look on Mexican fighters historically, Tunde, do not handle speed very well. Right? That's just how it goes. And the reason being is because Mexican fighters usually are on this bad man thing. You don't really see many Mexican dancer fighters, you know, no Speedy Gonzalez, isn't that? All the Mexican man, you think they have a knack for the artistry of butchery. They want to be inside. They like fighting in the pocket. This is Mexican fighters. They are that toughness, like, wow. You know what I mean? No man does not run up and down. We come to fight, bro. Right? Go look at it. Famously, when Julio Cesar Chavez fought Mergic Taylor, was that March 1990, March 17th, 1990, when Mergic Taylor was soundly outpointing him. And he stops him in the last round, but he never handled speed well. He definitely didn't handle speed well, or the awkwardness of Pernell Whitaker, who beat him but never got the decision. He didn't handle speed well when he fought Frankie Rendell. And Frankie Rendell beat him and was the first man to officially put a loss on Chavez's record, even though Chavez was kind of getting long in the tooth at the time anyway. But it just shows you that Mexican fighters don't handle speed well. And someone like Canelo's thinking to himself, do I really want to be up there with some little speedster who's a taller guy than me, who's a physically big? I mean,
Benevidez really outbigs everyone.
Yeah, is he 6'3", Tunde?
He's very, very tall.
Is he 6'3", right?
Interesting when we come face to face at a press conference. It'd be interesting to see how tall he is, me personally, you know.
Yeah, but you know what, Tom? When I saw, I'm going to be real with you, it's like, to me, I think Anthony Yarde's growing, because when I saw Anthony at the 9 Light for James Cook,
yes,
it's the first time that I really like Anthony's cool, you know.
Answer unit,
yeah, but and in the unit, but usually I'm saying like, right, I'm slender build and all this. Maybe I'm shrinking and I'm getting older. But I'm beside him. I said, right, you're quite tall.
Yeah. Oh, Tyrone Booth, he said he's 6'1", and you're talking about Benevidez is 6'1". He looks
even
really
better. I'm
tall.
glad that because on TV he looked tall.
Yeah, he looks tall. That's what I'm saying. TV sometimes is very misleading, and it'd be interesting to see what he looks like up close and personal. But yes.
Yeah. But like I'm saying, right now, boxing's winning.
Boxing's winning. And we all have to thank Turkey
Tunde on another level, bro. Because since I'm just keep this thing totally 100, right? Since Turkey Ajayi put his in the game, yeah? All of the big fights that he's had, I've been ringside at. Okay?
One second.
WBO.
Right. Like I'm saying, it's an honor to say, like, I've been at the fights. And I've been at the fights which has just been, it's just been great. Boxing is really great. It's really, really great. And I'm glad that people are getting their opportunities and people are getting paid. But more so, the fans are getting what we want to see. And this is the great thing. The fans are getting what we want to see. What I was saying earlier about the times in the 80s where men had a willingness to fight each other, the men just didn't have a willingness to fight each other in America. Men had a willingness to fight each other, and it was a global thing. We've had many great battles in the UK, right, especially in the 80s, right, where men shown a willingness to fight each other. Even more so, if we was to go right back to April of 1988, when Michael Watson and Nigel Benn fought each other in a tent. Nigel Benn was WBC ranked #1 contender. No, Michael Watson was WBC ranked #1 contender. Nigel Benn was WBC ranked #2 contender, and Nigel Benn was a Commonwealth champion because he beat, what's his name, Kasim Sada, the guy from Uganda, and he stopped him. So it's about a willingness to go and compete against each other. And when you're looking at that show, anyhow Boots is going in. That's your phone, Boots is dead. Anyhow Boots is got autism as well on that card. I'm saying me and Tunde, we got to do a standard for sale fight package for people who want to go out to the fight, because that card is just an amazing card. So I would say to anyone, I would say to anybody, come out to this fight because it's going to be incredible. So we've got to do standard for sale travel. That's the next thing. We're starting out tomorrow because we laughing for. That's what we got to do, because there's so many people that want to go and see that.
Remember John? Remember that guy John, the Dread brother? He used to do the flight packages.
Yeah.
He
used to work a bit at City Boxer.
Yeah. I remember that, John. All right, listen. I think we spoke enough about the main fight. I'm sure we're going to be speaking about it more, but let's move on to other action from around the globe. Starting first with Harlem Eubanks versus Jack Catterall last night. I was pulling my hair out, literally pulling no hair out, because I'm like, if you go watch my story, I said from the second or third round, I think it was, somebody's going to get cut. Someone's going to get cut because
it was a boxing yesterday. He was jumping in, the jittery business. I just saw it, that it was going to happen prior to it actually happening. I mean, it was inevitable because, it's kind of like rushing. And Catterall is a very, very calm fighter. Takes his time. But I listened to a few
Harlem in Eubank interviews, and he was saying that he was following the game plan, and that his plan was to take over second half of the fight. But what is your real assessment of that fight last night, Spencer? Because I know
it was rubbish. Let's just call it this. It was rubbish. It was rubbish. It was absolute crap.
So you're not in favor of a rematch, no?
What, a rematch? Brother, let me no. Listen to what I'm saying to you, yeah? I'm keeping this thing. What's everyone laughing on the thing for? It was a bag of shit. And if anyone wants to turn around and say it wasn't, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? You are an idiot.
Smen Boxing. It would be good to get Smen Boxing's opinion on last night, because I like the way Smen talks, so I'm not gonna lie. If you want to come through, Smen, come true, man. I'm putting a link up. Come true, man.
It was the most. You know what it is? It's like Harlem Eubank. How old is he now?
31 or 32, I think.
Right, 32. So he started boxing at 18, right? So because he used to be a footballer, and I see what they were trying to do, but you could see the levels, and you could also hear, and this is no disrespect to Harlem because I like him, but you could also hear the delusion when he's thinking like, oh well, I was doing everything to come in late. You wasn't, because I could see they were going to clash heads, because the way my man was jumping in, right? Right, and you're doing this thing. It's all Adam Booth fighters. I just don't knock on Adam Booth. I'm saying all Adam Booth fighters doing the same thing. They stick out the arm. All of them. They've been doing that from when I've been training with a brother, and I was training with Adam Booth in 2002. Even though it's not Adam Booth training the youth now. He's working with H, but H came under the tutelage of Adam Booth.
Okay.
Right? And H is a good trainer, but I'm trying to say to you, this game is about levels, and the level was too much. And you got to even realize, even though Christina had to be in Jamaica, but if he really wanted to, he'd have been at the fight.
Yeah. Just pause for a second there, Spence. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. A young man that is making his waves, or making waves in the sport of boxing in terms of analytical breakdowns of fights. Someone that I'm going to support and have been supporting on my page. Sometimes I think I've always wanted that. I've always wanted to, especially when you're, it's a sport you love and you see certain people in certain positions, and it's like, yeah, we know everyone's got to pay their dues and everything like that, but there's people at certain levels that see guys on the come up and they know that they're good. They know that they're good, but they're like, nah. We're not even giving this one a breakthrough because this man's going to steal our light. You get what I'm saying? But I've always been like, nah, nobody can't take nothing from no one. What is for you is for you.
Simple as that.
So what better way to show your support of someone other than using your platform to help them grow? So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce. Why do I keep on throwing that word today? Introduce to you the one, the only, Mr. Smengargan.
What's happening?
Smen,
that's the best introduction I've had so far. I ain't had many.
We're about giving man flowers. We're not in this holding thing and just watching man from a distance and not elevating them, because what people really don't get, certainly a belief of mine, is that if you uplift others will uplift you. Yeah. And there's a simple way of explaining it. You reap what you sow. Everybody is where they are for a reason. If you weren't putting in the work, if you wasn't studying boxing, if you wasn't at the shows, if you wasn't taking notes, your energy wouldn't be such where we're recognizing you. So whatever you have been doing in the dark has obviously come to the light and come to our attention. So, bro, it's only normal. It's normal.
Thank you, man. That actually means a lot. I feel like signing out. I don't need to do anything else, man.
Come on. So, bro, give us the breakdown, man, of last night's boxing, because Spencer's saying it was shit, point blank. But I know you've got your
I don't want to be disrespectful because I can't fight as good as the knowledge, but
good as Spencer. Spencer still got the
yeah,
old 1-2. With his knob.
but no man, it weren't no good. It weren't no good at all. And like you said, styles make fights, and I could
Yes.
see this fight really not being. Obviously, I watch all boxing events anyway, but I could see this fight not being the one, and it didn't live up to that. It felt like both men were kind of counter punchers. That's never going to make for a good fight. Harlem Eubank, he's just not on that world level. And the interview that he gave after the fight, I got to be honest, he did kind of sound delusional. He
But Spen, bare gunshots for you, yeah? Let me tell you. I know Tunde ain't watched it because Tunde don't watch the interviews afterwards, right? I watch everything, right? Because he gave his interview afterwards. I see he gave it to all of the press, like Boxing King Media, Stomping Ground, Boxing Social. He gave his interview afterwards. And I really wish that he never said nothing. Right? Because, yes, in boxing, you need to be delusional. You know what I mean? You do. But after you've been hit with the evidence and you're just an hour after evidence has been produced, it's like a man getting stopped by the police and they give you the breathalyzer and you're 4 levels above the thing, and then you got the audacity and audaciousness to turn to them and say I wasn't drinking. Right? When we've got the evidence.
I just got what you were saying. 4 levels above the thing. I just got what you were saying.
I don't care what anyone's saying, yeah?
Mate.
That fight was dismal.
All right, I don't want to. You know what? I don't want to be seen as a platform that's putting another person. And I think we all agree that. Wait, man, Spence. Wait. We all agree it wasn't a good performance, and nobody wants to see the rematch. But what I do want to talk about, Spen, or ask you, was about the rest of the card. We had Pat Brown, looking like a tremendous prospect, but we also had the debut of a young man that's being labeled the new Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua 0.2 in Leo, is it Atang?
Atang,
Leo
yeah.
Atang. I just want to get your thoughts on both of those guys' performances. Pat Brown first, and then the Wonder Boy, good-looking kid, only 18 years old, speaks well, very respectful, and seems like he's going
He's
to
only
go
18.
Only 18 years old.
18, yeah. 18. Pat Brown, to start with Pat Brown, he looks dangerous. He looks destructive.
Bro, he's a man that can take you out.
And he looks, I'm not going to lie, he looks too big to be a cruiserweight. He looks too big to be, I don't know how long he's going to stay at that weight for. Kind of like Lawrence Okoli, he's going to have to eventually move up to heavyweight. But at the minute, he's doing all the right things. He's looking destructive. What's he had? 3 fights, 2 knockouts.
Yes,
I believe. But it'll be interesting to see how they build him. They're talking about putting him in against Alois Jr. by the end of the year.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And this is the thing when you talk. These
within 12 months. Sorry, not the end of the year. But,
these men are like you're talking, yeah. Cool. We're gonna put you in some fights early.
Yeah. So, that's what Hearn's been saying. So
Alois was talking. He's been talking, and he's very confident. I've known him for a long time, and he's confident in his ability. But sometimes that's why I believe sometimes it's not good for the fighter to talk. Let your management do it. Just come up silently but listen, people are different, and he's ready to fight. But that would be thinking about the height disparity between Pat Brown and Alois Jr. That would be mad.
Crazy.
It'd be very intriguing and a mouth-watering.
That would be a very exciting fight because of their styles. Their styles.
But he's got to get past. Who's the youth that he's fighting?
He's had a fight now, isn't he?
Ellis Zorro.
Yeah.
He's fighting Zorro.
He's fighting Zorro.
Tunde, let me tell you this now, yeah. I know Zorro's family because it's like it's kind of weird. Like Zorro's wife, Zorro's wife's mother is my family.
Bro,
So
all Jamaicans say that, mate.
no, definitely my family. We was at Fearon together. This is a few months ago. And that's how I found out. I didn't know my wife. And I had a really good chat with Zorro, right? I'm gonna be honest on this one because, like, I would say with Zorro, for all of his ability, he needs to start administering belief in his ability. Right? I'm just telling you that 100 because you can see there's a kind of mental block there, a mental kind of shut off there, right? And you don't need to be having a mental shut offs against someone like David Alois, right? Because Alois ain't Mag Rules, what we used to have on the BMXs. He's proper, he's Alois. He's a solid fighter who believes in himself and is coming to bang you out. And because we've seen Zorro box really well against Clark, he was outboxing Clark, Tunde, right? And then he had a kind of switch off, and as he switches off, that's when he gets switched off himself. So he'd have to really, really and truly be properly on this confidence thing because he's got a lot of ability. And for someone who only had a handful of amateur fights, he didn't have many amateur fights, for his accomplishments, then I've got to credit him. But I'd also got to say is like he got chucked in early against that killer, Jai Opatai. Now, why on earth would you ever put, I don't care how much money you're getting, why on earth would you ever put someone at that limited stage against an assassin that was also an assassin when they were an amateur as well? So
didn't he take that fight like 2 weeks? Didn't he take that fight like 2 weeks notice as well? Or something?
That was. I mean, they get. I remember they gave us like a 3 weeks or 4 weeks notice to fight Bivol. I'm like, bro, we're going in there to win. You can't give us 4 weeks notice.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're going in there to win preparation. I mean, if you really believe in yourself.
And sorry, I know you guys have already gone over this, and you probably don't want to go over it again. But I just wanted to say about the Yarde Benevidez thing, and I don't mean to put anyone in a bad light, but I don't know why people were saying Yarde was ducking so and so before or whatever. The guys fought Kovalev in Russia. Chelyabinsk, by the way. Beterbiev, who everyone was avoiding, and now Benevidez, who everyone was avoiding. And as I was saying earlier, I don't know the facts, but if I could make an educated judgment, I don't imagine he was offered the fight with Benevidez first. So that means there's a whole load of people before him that turned that down.
Come on.
Turn that down. You don't, and I said it in the video as well, you don't duck other fighters, I'm not going to name names, and then fight Benevidez. It don't make no sense. It wouldn't make no sense for him to duck other fighters and then fight Benevidez. So
no, you can say, I'm just not saying the name.
Well, you wouldn't, and it's no disrespect to Buatsi, because I think Buatsi is a very good fighter and whatnot. And I don't think Buatsi is necessarily ducking him. I don't know the ins and outs, but one thing I do know for a fact is you don't duck Buatsi and then fight Benevidez.
Well, I mean, listen, you've hit the nail on the head, and that's what I say about belief in your ability, and really, do you think you can win? And you know, listen, boxing is, as they say, it's not a older guy's sport. As they say, it's a young man's sport. And so when you're waiting and sitting and waiting for the right moment and the right time in your mind, time is going. And then, you know, things move forward in life. They don't move backwards. So ultimately, the challenge is never going to get easier. It's always going to get hard. You see what I'm saying? So you miss one opportunity waiting for this prime moment, and then another killer comes on the scene who's even more fresh, more dangerous. You know, so it's like not talking about other people's business, but I just feel like that question, and now the naysayers got to find something else to talk about, or nothing, something else to say now, because next thing they'll be sending me game plans. That's how this thing goes. They'll be sending me game plans. They'll be saying, make sure you do this, Tunde. Make sure you do that. Bro, you man are saying this to me, but your favorite fighter weren't fighting them. They don't want to fight them. They don't want to fight them. So, what are we in this sport for? From a fan's perspective, and from a fighter's perspective, and from a trainer's perspective, it's like each one of those individuals should want to be the best or striving to be the best. And the only way you can ever get the best out of yourself is to be put in the best situations, right? Fighting the best fighters. That's what brings out of you. It's like somebody in the gym, yeah? Boom, you can tap him up. Then you hear that our next you's coming to spar you. Now we're gonna, you see what I'm saying? It's gonna bring something out of you which beforehand hasn't been seen. And I feel like that's what it has always been. You can say this fighter, that fighter, he ain't ready for this, he ain't ready for that. But ultimately, we will never know unless you're put in that situation. And I feel Ant has proven that over and over again.
No, he has. And just a quick question to you.
The publicist, by the way, she said, where's the glasses? I had to draw for the glasses. Because, it's about giving the people what they want. Anyway, carry on, bro.
So just a quick question to you. It's just, as a trainer, obviously, I know you've got Joel Kadura as well. And then now you're probably going to go into camp. I'm not sure when you're going to start camp for the Yarde fight. How do you balance the two fighters at once?
Sorry, the answer to that question is 2 is more than enough. When you start having 10 fighters, when you got a gym full up of supposedly world-class fighters, it ain't that kind of sport. They need attention. If you are a top guy, if you're a top fighter, you ain't sharing no spotlight with no 10 next man. And how do I know? I've done it. I've been through that point and I learned very early on, it don't work. You have to we're talking about the sport of boxing, which is an individual sport. You ain't got time to have 10 man in the gym. Otherwise, you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
You're going to get sick, brother. You're going to get sick because when you're passionate about the free, JME Professional Boxing said it. 3 is the maximum. You know what that is? That's morning, noon, and night. We're not having 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, and 5 in. You understand what I'm saying? It's too much. You, as an individual, as a trainer, as a coach, are never giving your fighter 100% of you because you're having to slice the cake up too much. And a great fighter will always need 3/4, if not the whole of the cake for themselves. And that's one thing I had to learn very, very quickly with fighters. So for me, there's no struggle because not only do I put maximum into AY, maximum into Joel, I actually have maximum time for myself. Because I need to be at a period where I can relax. I can watch tape. You see what I'm saying? Get up in the morning, train myself. Please, God, I don't want to be them trainer. I'm putting on a bit of natural poundage as you do now. But I don't want to be them trainer they got all triple XL t-shirts that they're wearing. Because you're giving, which is part of life, really. I always say give us gain. But at the same time, you want to be giving some of that love and attention to yourself. And that is virtually impossible if you're spending 99.9% of your time given to others.
No, good answer. Yeah, I just wanted some insight into how that works. So,
yes.
But would you have both your fighters fighting on the same card? I mean, speaking into existence, would you have Joe on the undercard for that? Or
you know what? We always talk about this, and it has almost happened one time. It almost happened one time. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to say which one it was, but man's like, nah, that's some jolting, fam.
Yeah.
Man's like, nah, that's some jolting, fam. I can be concentrating on me and the next man at the same time. It's facts.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I'm like, bro, you come in the dance. It's even like you're going in the dance with your pretty girl and bare man's looking at your girl. They're like, bro, you want to start a fight in here or something? You get what I'm saying? It's like, we've only got so much energy, all of us. We've only got so much energy. And it's like, you're spreading this thing around. And that's why I feel like there's a lot of greed going around. Why would you want to have 10 fighters, world-class fighters in your gym? For what? How much time do you have for yourself? How much time do you really have to study? Or are you going to be in a situation where you just start saying, go on, mate, 10 rounds sparring today, 6 rounds sparring today, all that pad work don't do nothing. You ain't got no time to train, man. You ain't got time to teach people. So I just, without continuing what I'm saying, I just feel like sometimes it's better to have less and put more attention into them than to have more and be doing a job half-heartedly.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But don't go though. I want to hear what you have to say about Leo.
He's looking bright for the future. He done what he needed to do. You know what? I think they're going to try and build him as the next Anthony Joshua.
Definitely.
It's no secret that Matchroom needs some heavyweights, but it seems like they're not trying to go for heavyweight. They realize that Queensbury have got all the current heavyweights, or the majority of them, so they're thinking, look, we're going to plan for 5 years and whatnot. But he looks good to me. I don't think there's really that much you can say on someone after one fight when they win in the first round.
Yeah, and so young as well.
And he's 18. But I don't want to make the comparison, but Moses Atoma's 20 and they're in the same era, so it's like they're gonna.
And another thing, one thing I will add to that is, bro, it's not easy to do. Even if you've got the best promoter behind you, it ain't easy to do what AJ done. Because
let me tell you, Sunday,
nobody's done what he's done.
I want to show
think.
Man,
not in England anyway, that's for sure.
I want to tell man from now, I saw good skills. The boy's only 18 and everything like that. But you know what I said as a trainer? Don't rush. Take your time. Take your time, because AJ, you can see the power of AJ. Now, when AJ was having his first fights and that, you see man getting stretched, starched, boom. That's how you know, we can work with that. And then based on his looks and his ability and what else have you, everything else just fit together. But I don't like it when, I'm not saying when people just look at it as AJ's just a face, good looking. Bro, he's spiteful, bro. And he was knocking people out at an early stage. It's like Moses Atama. He's young, he's 20, as you said. But you can tell he's a dangerous cat. He's a dangerous cat. I don't necessarily think I've seen that yet in young Atang. What I've seen is a very bright prospect. Seems to have good skills going to the body, which is always good for a heavyweight.
Is this part on YouTube, sir?
I don't know. It's the zone. Yes, the zone. Essentially, the highlights should be there. It should be on YouTube.
Right, because the only one that I watched yesterday, I watched little clips. I didn't catch his fight. But Ron McIntosh, who's working on Wimbledon right now, Ron did for Radio 5 yesterday for BBC Radio. So he did the show yesterday, and he was saying, the kid's a good kid. But remember, Ron does a lot of work on the amateur boxing. There's a lot of commentary on amateur boxing. So he was telling me how good the kid was. And he said, straight off of the bat, like Eddie Hearn snapped him up because they wanted him to go to the Olympics.
Yes,
they must have made him. Right? Yeah, he didn't go. They must have made him a serious offer.
Yes,
they must have made him a serious offer.
He ticks every box from what I can see.
Yeah,
I think that the trajectory is different now, than what it was when AJ was coming up. At that time, we can pick certain fights. But because of the influence now of others, you get to a certain point and you're hyping you have to fight.
You have to fight, bro.
Yeah.
you have to fight. So it's more difficult now. It's more difficult, I feel.
Because even when looking at Moses Atoma, it's I'm not saying he's been rushed into the fight with White, but it was kind of like everyone was thinking like, well, he needs to fight. There's so much hype around him now. It's like he needs to fight a name, or
yes.
Do you know what I mean? I don't particularly think that, but because of how he's been perceived now, it's like, yeah. So, and I don't want that for that attack, because even from looking at him just on the eye, it's not like he doesn't even look like a man yet, if that makes sense. Like,
he does look like a kid.
He just looks. You couldn't throw him in there with, well, I may be wrong, but it wouldn't look right to even throw him in there with, let's say, imagine they threw him in there with like Pulev. He looks like a big man to him. It would be like someone like Pulev or something. Just for example, I'm just talking about Moses, a grown heavyweight. No, not Moses. I'm talking about a Tang. I'm just saying his stat, his physique.
That's gonna take
they wouldn't now. No, they wouldn't now. But I'm saying, just judging on he's not a man yet. If that makes sense.
And that's evident to me. From a trainer's perspective. So listen, I can't tell Matchroom Eddie how to promote, but I'm a trainer with a good eye. And with him, he's a superstar potential. I'm always, I've said it on this show so many times. I don't like calling people superstar too quick because they got to tick certain boxes. They got to tick certain, but that's why Abdullah Mason, definitely, because he got dropped heavy. I think he got dropped twice, right? He got dropped twice in that fight. And he came back and stopped the guy. So he's ticked that box already. He's ticked the box. And I just feel there's certain things you need to go through before we start. But listen, I'm on the bandwagon of Leo Atang already. I'm on the bandwagon. But just because I've got that cautious, protective nature as a coach and a manager, I just say, please take your time with this one. Please, I beg, just be easy with him, because as you said, he's not a Moses Atama. So we've started it early. I would like to know his background, because that name is definitely not from Scotland. That surname. I need to know his background, where he comes from. Have we got another Nigerian monster? We produced the heavyweight monsters, the Nigerian heavyweight monsters. We got a Coley now just joining the gang. We got.
But you know what? A Coley looks massive, Tunde.
Yeah, we got Jollof Joe Joyce, Jollof Rice Joe Joyce. We got AJ. You understand what I'm saying? We just got them. We're racking them up. We got Moses Atama, another Niger boy, original. Yeah, well, so Nigerians produce heavyweights. So I would be interested to know what Atang is. See? Oh, come on. Checkmate's just confirming for me. He said he's a Niger man. I told you, bro. Like, this cannot be, it's undeniable. It's absolutely undeniable. If we can't see it by now, we ain't never going to see it. But it's possible, Victor. I've never heard that.
What?
Daniel's part Nigerian. I don't know. I've never heard that.
I think he is,
It could be.
I think the mom's Nigerian. I think his mom's Nigerian.
Yeah.
I think he's Nigerian.
I did not know that. I did not know that. And I've known them for years, the family and everything. So we spoke about Catterall. We spoke about Atang. We spoke about Pat Brown. We've obviously spoke about Am and Benevidez. Anything really we've missed? Moses Atama against Dylan White, which is a fight. Wow. Listen. One thing I know about Dylan White, he ain't coming to just lie down.
I want people to recognize this.
Dylan is locked about. I speak to Dylan most days, on social, because he's always cussing somebody. And one thing about Dylan, he's coming to fight. He don't care about what anyone's saying. He's just got that mentality where he's going to swing it out. But we have been told, we've actually seen early doors, Moses Atama appears to be a generational talent. So And like most, for some reason, we always want to see generational talents or talents in some sort of difficulty when they're coming up. But you know where it is? They go through the difficulty and they're looking for something else. So if I was Moses, if I was Moses, I just continue to do what you're doing, young man, and keep winning, keep training, keep studying as he is and has been doing. And that's it. So is there any more
Right
fights?
now, see you're talking about Moses Atama versus Dylan White, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to just go back because, like, I don't know how deep you get spent on this thing, but because your name's Spencer, that's a powerful name. So I'm saying to you, I remember Ken Norton fighting a man called Dwayne Bobbick, yeah?
The knowledge.
And Dwayne Bobbick was the hot thing coming through. Dwayne Bobbick beat Larry Holmes in the Olympic box-offs in 1972, right? So there was a lot of talk on Dwayne Bobbick. And Dwayne Bobbick was actually trained by Eddie Futch. A lot of hype, money pumped into him. And they threw Dwayne Bobbick because Dwayne Bobbick was meant to fight Muhammad Ali in 78. Right? And they put Dwayne Bobbick in with Ken Norton. Right? Thinking that, you know, because by that time Ken's like getting old as well, and they put Ken Norton in with Dwayne Bobbick, and the beating that he gave Dwayne Bobbick. Now, sometimes when you have a prospect, that you got to protect the prospect. Famously, like when Mike Tyson got beat in February of 1990 against Buster Douglas, that fight was muted to happen back in early 1986. And Mickey Duff is in his office and he gets a phone call. He gets a phone call from Bill Caton, who handled Mike Tyson, and said, "Oh yeah, Mickey, we're looking to put Mike in with Buster Douglas." And Mickey Duff was saying, no, he's all wrong for you. Not knowing that he was actually predicting the future because they fought nearly 4.5 years down the line. I'm saying, yes, Moses Atama is a fantastic talent, right? And I'm telling everybody, the key shot from Southpaw is actually a left hook. We always talk about, from the right hand, but it's actually left hook. There is nobody in the heavyweight division right now, that throws a more venomous left hook than Dylan White. And if Dylan White fancies it, because like people say, oh well, he's only taking it for the money, he's obviously getting like 2 and a bit mil for it. He's not taking, we know Dylan. He's not taking it for the money. He's taking it more of the fact that Moses Atama is #1 contender for WBO title. And the money's good, but the real incentive is the fact that I want to take your spot.
No. Spence?
Gun?
Are you talking to me? Well, you just said Spencer, you say you're talking to me.
Somebody's Wi-Fi, how 2 can go off at the same time. So the people on live, is it my Wi-Fi or is it their Wi-Fi?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Is it all right now? Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can.
Turn? Can't even hear you. We can't hear you, Turn.
Yeah, I was muted there. Everyone back on?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, mine was
all right, sorry.
Fine, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Cause like we get these fights, yeah. I do think that Moses Atama could be a generational talent because he's very impressive, right?
Yes,
he's very impressive. He's impressed me. But I'm saying when you put guys in. This is the first time that Dylan White's been in a big fight that he's the guy with the most experience.
First time Moses has been in a guy with more experience.
No. The first time that Dylan White is in a fight that he's the person with the more experience.
Oh, okay, yes.
In a big fight, I'm not talking like in a big fight, he's the guy with the more experience. And these things are going to be paramount in a fight like this because everyone's thinking like Moses is going to walk through him and blaze him, right? I've been watching boxing too long now for me to get anywhere overhyped by anybody who's coming through. anybody that's coming through. I'm just going to be real. Do I think Moses Calm is really good? I do. I think he's excellent. I really do. But I'm not going to get overhyped until I see someone throw back on him.
Yes. My Marshree, thank you for the 9.99. She says White understands the psychology and has solid fighter and roadman IQ. Moses has boxing IQ, humble, high self-belief. Itauma is a GOAT already in his mind, and I do agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. It's a very, very interesting and intriguing fight, Spence.
It is, man. It is.
That much I would say. August. Go on.
Yeah, sorry. I think much like the Joshua Klitschko fight, I feel like they banked on the timing of that. If that fight was, where I felt like AJ was on the rise and Klitschko was just slightly coming on the way down. I think Queensbury are trying to do the same, or Frank Warner, or whoever organised it, is trying to do a similar thing with this. Now, it could go Atoma's way, but it could also go horribly wrong.
It could. I also think that they're really taking his fight because how dreadful Dylan looked when he was fighting that little fat Ghanaian man, right?
Ebenezer Tete.
Yeah.
What's the date? What date did he fight him on?
Bro, I don't know up-to-date fights. Trust me, I don't know up-to-date fights.
Tete just trapped down some kenke before he walked to the ring.
Bro, Tunde, when he was walking to the ring, he was licking his fingers because he still had pounded yam on his hand.
Yeah. Tete had just boxed out some red suit shoe or something. But Moses,
it will come to fight. Dylan's coming to fight.
Yeah. But Moses is too to me. Moses is a very confident young man and has rightly. I mean,
he's done everything.
He's a junior. He's beaten solid guys quite handily. Spence. It doesn't even look like he's come out of second gear yet. I don't know where I think they found the last guy from my village in Nigeria. He had the same surname as my mum, but the other guy that he fought before that, what was the other guy he fought before in square boxing? Come on, the other guy, the massive guy.
Before Tiffy.
Yeah. No, not Dylan. Moses.
Oh, Moses. Dempsey McKean.
That was a good victory.
That was a good win.
Yeah.
That was a brilliant victory. But no, there was another guy, a big. I swear, Dylan and Joe Joyce all ended up fought him, and what was the guy name?
The last guy,
Marius
Watch.
Yeah.
Mario Watch. He clapped out Mario Watch effortlessly as well. Moses is definitely a generational talent. One who I'm only hoping the best for. But as I said, we're also fans of Dylan's, and it's great for boxing. And this is what it's about at the end of the day. You get in a position where you may have to end up supporting or trying to be neutral against two guys that you support. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a great fight. It's a great fight.
The build-up's gonna be interesting, no?
Yeah.
Neither of these guys have got media training and don't care about having media training.
No. But Moses is cool, but Moses can flip the script.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be good, but I don't think there's gonna be a need for that in this fight. I think Moses is respectful to the fact that it's Dylan, isn't it? And he'll be respectful, and Dylan will be like, yeah, I call this young boy, but man knows Dylan's going to be rolling into the press conference with his black gloves, his OJ Simpson gloves.
And a leather jacket.
And his leather gloves, and his leather jacket, and he's going to talk. So, yeah, the build-up should be fantastic.
Well, you know what? If Dylan's walking in with their OJ Simpson gloves, because you know the motto, if the gloves don't fit, you got to acquit.
You have to come on, man. I know there's something more. Spencer's brought some nice energy to the show.
Come on, man.
What else can we talk about? I know there's something we ain't spoken about. Some fights. There's a topic that we haven't spoken about today. We've done Devon. I think we have covered everything. I believe. Unless anyone can think of anything else.
I don't know if you want to talk about it, but because we don't know how true it is, but Fury coming back in 2026.
Oh, yes. Now that, I don't think Fury should come back. That's just my honest opinion.
Tunde's coming back, bro.
I don't know. And to be honest with you, I think it's a disrespect to Daniel Dubois to say that he's coming back to fight Usyk. Hold on, bro, the fight hasn't even made yet. You're already talking about Fury and Usyk free. But Usyk, I'm going to tell you something. I was with Don Charles the other week. Daniel is coming for maximum violence. And according to my brother Don Charles, he said to me, this is the best Daniel. He's never seen Daniel like this. And this Daniel, Usyk cannot beat this Daniel. So I'm looking forward to a fantastic... Don't be surprised if there's a KO on the night. There's a cerebral factor to this, which we all know will be silly to deny that. We know that Usyk really mentally takes over in the latter part of the fight with these heavyweights. And he has done that with AJ. He has done that with Fury. And he has done that with most heavyweights. And the only one he hadn't done that against was Derek Chisora. Derek put up a good fight, but it was behind closed door. The energy was different, and we had that. The fight which we forgot about, which we shouldn't forget about, is our very own Hamza Shiraz fighting Edgar Berlanga Saturday.
Sorry, Spin Boxing, what's your take on this fight? Because this young man got this little young cat.
I want to take on this fight.
Yeah, what's your
You can ask me about Jake Paul or something. What fight?
You see, I'm saying,
well, you can ask me about that. No, because you said young cat. I thought he was going to disrespect me. Ask me about.
No, go ahead.
Nah. I'm joking.
How old are you, bro?
No, bro, stop asking people their age.
How old are you, man?
30.
Don't answer the question.
That's great.
Don't answer the question. Carry on.
He's answered it.
Are you talking about the Hamza Shiraz?
And Shiraz.
Yeah. I think Shiraz has got his number. I think he obviously we know Shiraz didn't perform well in his last fight. Well, I wouldn't say he didn't perform well, but it was a draw, wasn't it? He got the draw. He got the draw.
He didn't win that fight, too. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think he won it. I don't think he won it personally. So coming off of that as well, do you know what it is? When you're on a roll, I think you've got more confidence, and you will probably be able to answer this better than me. You'd have more confidence going into the next fight. Him versus Berlanga isn't an easy fight, Shiraz versus Berlanga. And he's coming off that fight which he arguably lost. I know Berlanga, obviously, he lost against Canelo as well. But I don't know whether it's... do you know what? Sometimes I don't know whether all the talking is gassing me up, but I just feel like Shiraz is a bit like Berlanga's getting the better of him. Just I don't know. Just seems like he just seems like he don't know how to handle him.
It's the American accent. It's the New York accent.
But how many times have we seen those guys chatting all that nonsense and just get blown out in? Even like, remember when and I know it's no comparison, but Phil LaGreca against Amir Khan. Remember all the rubbish he was talking? Yeah. And just in one round just got blown out the water. I think Berlanga's a lot better than that, obviously. Both men are going to have to be on their A game, and I think if both men are on their A game, I think Shiraz will take it. I don't know if he'll get a stoppage, but I think he'll.
I see it as a very, very interesting fight, and the confidence that Berlanga is showing is evident to me. Even to the point where he's saying, "Man, we already beat your trader, man. We already beat Andy Lee." Yeah, because remember, Shiraz stopped Quigley. Jason Quigley, who is a world-class fighter, and they're very confident. And I say this time and time again. People talk about Berlanga not being that good and he's bums that he's knocked out. It ain't easy to knock people out in professional boxing. It's not. Otherwise, everyone would be a puncher. So when they disrespect other fighters and say, he's a bin man, he's a dust man, he ain't that good. Professional boxing ain't what it seems. So I don't care who you're knocking out. first round. I think he's got the more first round knockouts than anyone in the super middleweight division. I think he had something like 17 consecutive first round or something wild and crazy like that. And that can't be overlooked. I don't care what anyone's telling me. That can't be overlooked. He's got a lot of experience. I hear him talk about how he come up with all these top fighters. You always see him, Shakur, all these guys. So he's been around that mode. And I don't know how Hamza's going to deal with that. You know, Hamza's a very, very calm, calculated, cool guy. You know, a role model to many, just because there's no disrespect or anything like that with other fighters. And I think he treats fighters with the respect they deserve. But this ain't a gimme fight. This ain't a gimme fight. I refuse to believe that. In New York, you got Fat Joe and them, man, they're coming to the ring with you. Come on. Yeah, bro. These men are serious American, Puerto Rican legends. You see what I'm saying? And you got that. That means something. It means something. People say, yeah, they can't get in a ring for you and fight, but they can. They are. They're there with you. They're backing you. You know, support is everything. So Hamza's going up against that. But I mean, if Hamza wins this fight, the prospects for him that's going to be available, because he's got Turkey's backing.
He has, yeah. He's already planning fights for him.
This now, yeah. We are going to see. Now he's with Andy Lee, right? Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't like his little cheerleader man that he was training with.
yeah. Andy Lee's a serious guy.
Right, Andy Lee knows his stuff, mate. And also, Andy Lee's come from the Kronk style. Andy Lee lived with Emmanuel Stewart.
Yes.
Right? I believe that Hamza Siraj is actually going to win this fight. Right? Yeah. I believe that he's going to box to orders. And a lot of people like, oh, well, the Kronk style. People seem to forget that Tommy Hearns, the legendary Tommy Hearns, who became the WBA world welterweight champion in 1981, when he knocked out Pepino Cuevas with that vision. Have you seen that fight, Spin Boxing?
I watched that fight bare time.
No, Spin. Have you seen that fight? When Tommy Hearns becomes, when he wins his first world title, beating the Kronk, second world. Brother, just
go back and watch it.
Pepino Cuevas, bruv. Tommy Hearns was a gangster. He hit Pepino Cuevas, and Cuevas' body went like this.
Yeah, he done the whirly-twirly thing.
Yeah, before he dropped. Right? Yeah. But also what people don't seem to forget is that Tommy Hearns was a very, very good boxer. He could bang, but he was a boxer. And I think because he's around Andy Lee now, and Andy Lee lived with the late, great Emmanuel Stewart. Lived with him. Something has to rub off. And I think because of that, he's going to sneak out a points win. It's going to be tough in certain times, but I reckon he's going to sneak out a points win. That's what I mean. Yeah,
because Hamza could box. He's got a good boxing
ability. He can box.
It's going to be an interesting fight. We're not long now, going into fight week tomorrow. So we look forward to Hamza. You know, as a UK, as a Brit, we're supporting him. Just like the New Yorkers are going to support their own, we're supporting our own. So all the best to Hamza. Fantastic guy, brilliant guy, and wish him nothing but the best. Listen, we've had a fantastic show, almost going on 2 hours. Otad Jamie, unfortunately, wasn't to be for Kyle Davis yesterday. He was involved in a slight motor accident, so the fight was cancelled. Kyle Davis is a young man that has been coming down to London. He's still young now, but he's been coming down to London, you know, getting sparring everyone. Spars Callum Simpson, been over sparred Dan Aziz, it's everybody. But he was going for his first titles yesterday, I think on Pat Barrett's show. And he and he had the accident, just a freak nature. But I don't believe in that. I just believe everything happens for a reason. And yesterday wasn't his time to collect those belts. He was going to be challenging for the IBO, I think it was, and the Commonwealth Silver, same belt. One of the belts that Joe picked up last week at light heavyweight. So, listen, he's young. His time will come. I probably will get Joe and Kyle on the show next week because I really do see them as a team. And as from a fighter's perspective, Kyle, he was one of the kids I mentioned as one of the top prospects coming out at that time of the year. I think it was Ben Whitaker, Adam Azim, Fraser Clark, Ben Baker, Adam Azim, Fraser Clark, and Carl Davis. I think there was one more, but yeah, those were the 4 kids that are earmarked out. And Kyle has come along steadily to the point now where he was about to fight for his first titles yesterday, but wasn't meant to be. We'll get them on the show. We'll talk about it. So I guess that's going to be rescheduled. But all in all, gentlemen, it has been a great show, great talking topics. We've got Shiraz Belenga next week. AY still away. AY against Benevidez still away. So there's going to be a lot of talk up until then. We've got Shakur Stevens next week. We didn't even talk about that. Shakur v. William Sapida, which is going to be a bad boy fight, because I think this is a fight where Shakur can show them what time it is. Because
he's going to have to.
Zapida is a volume puncher, Mexican. And we know these Mexican guys, but it's like I always say, when they say these guys are volume punchers and non-stop, it's always been about who you're fighting. Of course someone's going to be a volume puncher and throw a million, but if you're standing in front of him, but the minute you start getting movement and boxing and being counterpunched, Pacquiao, Floyd is a perfect example. He started thinking about all that running in when he started clapping, catching some lead right hands. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So, but Zapida is definitely a whirlwind. It's funny because all I remember about William Zapida is that I remember his trainer saying the only guy we ain't fighting is Shakur Stevenson. He said, I've watched Shakur from the amateurs. This guy is a master. But guess what? There's a man out there that said, yeah, you're not going to fight him, yeah? All right, cool, hold up. And the fight's made. So it'd be interesting to see if they really believe they can win against Shakur, or was that just talk? So another great fight to look forward to. I don't know much about this, the light welterweight guys, Spen. Is it Pablo Matias or something?
I don't know much. I don't know
them guys. But they're fighting for, I think, the 140 title as well. So that's on the card. So again, big, magnificent card this Saturday night. And boxing continues to flourish and thrive. So I think on that note, Spence?
Listen, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you guys having me on and bigging me up as well.
Keep on doing your stuff, man.
And I'm going to tell you a quick, interesting story, actually,
yes.
With Spencer Fearon. You won't remember this, but I'm not going to tell you when it was. I might DM you after and tell you when it was. But I met you once, and you said to me, you didn't know me from nowhere. And you obviously don't remember because you would probably say you remember before. And you know what you said to me? You said, you look like you should be doing something within boxing.
Come on.
And now look where I am now. It's all coming full circle on your show. And that always stuck with me. I'm going to show you the picture after this as well.
Come on, bro.
But the supportive words and everything, like it means so much. I've got a lot more stuff coming as well. I don't know what to say, man. I want to give you a lot of your flowers, but I'll be here all day, to be fair. So,
bro.
What I will tell you is this: we are always the middle ground before greatness. People before they're known to the wider public. I don't know why. Don't know why God has made it so. But anyone who comes on this show, and it's documented, they always bust. It's almost as though life is levels. And so the guys who inevitably make the decisions are always waiting to see what Spencer Fearon and Tunde have to say, who they're bringing on the show, how they look, how they sound, how they're going to cross over to a wider audience. And I said it straight away last week. I said, you definitely got the composure, the attitude to be on a national level. So anything we can do, these guys better start paying us some money because we bust too much money in this thing. Or better still, you best be giving man some peas when you get up there. So
I want to change that. That don't make noise.
Don't worry, bro. We don't listen, man. I keep telling everyone, don't make your money is there, but don't make the motivation be your singular motivation be money, because you'll never reach the pinnacle of what you're doing. It's the passion. your goal is to make your passion pay. That's the key. Make your passion pay. So as long as you keep being passionate about what you're doing, it's just inevitable. It's just like ABC 1, 2, 3. It's gonna come through. Yeah. So keep doing what you're doing, and we'll keep bringing you on as long as we need to. As long as you got something to talk about our sport positively. None of this cussing business like what Spencer does and start cussing off everyone when he knows things is going on. But yeah, thank you again, man. It's been great to have you on.
Bro.
Let us end this show in exactly the same way we started it, with the now magical words of dream it, believe it, become it.
Coming up, peace, 2 fingers. I wish you all a fantastic next 7 strong days. Big up yourself.
Come on. Love.
God bless.